I'm Bailey Bates. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. There's a cold case that has haunted Killeen for nearly 4 decades. A 9-year-old girl vanished on Mother's Day in 1989, taken in broad daylight while playing outside. Now, for the first time, the only witness, who was just 6 years old, is speaking out as detectives renew their push for answers. At the Killeen Police Department, cold cases don't just sit on a shelf.
1964, and then it goes up all the way to 2019.
They're a daily reminder of lives lost, lives missing, and the families still waiting for answers.
Every time we come in here, we are reminded why we do the job we do.
Detective Tomineri Kashmira has made it his mission to bring answers, even decades later.
It gives you a drive to work harder, to actually look at these cases a little bit more in depth.
One of those cases is Jenna Robbins, a 9-year-old girl who vanished on Mother's Day 1989.
Jenna Robbins lived off of 8th and Garrison. There was an apartment complex up there. Her mom and her brother and her lived at the apartment complex. Mom decided she wanted to go to HEB and with the older brother. Jenna did not want to go because she wanted to remain behind and play with her friend.
The friend Kimberly was just 6 years old at the time and the only witness.
We were both outside. We were out there just kind of picking flowers for our moms. And while we were out there, a car pulled up on the main road there and was really trying to get me to go to the car. He was like, "I have candy. I know your parents." The traditional stuff.
In a neighborhood where children played outside without fear.
Jenna ended up going to the car. She came back and just said that, tell my mom I'm going for a ride. And I just took off.
Jenna, taken in broad daylight. These are some of the only crime scene photos from that day, where young Kimberly had to explain to police where the kidnapper was parked. That's shown with the red car.
I remember it very specifically. It was a traumatic experience in my life. I don't think I could ever forget it.
Her recollection of the man is what led to these sketches.
He looked clean cut. He didn't have any features that made me think that he was a scary man.
Detective Kashmira says the case still relies heavily on Kimberly's memory, the same testimony she gave as a child.
After this kidnapping occurred, 4 different individual females had come in to report that the weeks prior to and leading up to Jenna's kidnapping, they had also been followed. And this was before any of this information was publicized.
Investigators believe the same man may have been involved in all the incidents. A predator who hunted from his car, luring children with charm.
He wasn't like a snatch and grab off the streets where he's walking. He liked to drive around. He was a predator. He was hunting.
Flyers of Jenna filled the neighborhood and soon the nation.
Her posters were all over the United States, which is apparent in the tips we get. We have hundreds of tips for Jenna Robbins going all the way from the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and none of those ever panned out to actually be Jenna.
Kimberly says she shares her story for the first time in nearly 40 years to help.
And I owe it to Jenna to put this out there and just see if anybody recognizes anything I'm saying, or even if it shines a different light on it.
It's that same reason Detective Kashmira says the case is far from forgotten.
If anybody knows anything, they do need to come forward because it's like a moral obligation to do it. And the suspect, he needs to be accountable for what he did because children are so innocent, they shouldn't be preyed on like that.
If you know anything about the disappearance of Jenna Robbins or who the man in the sketches might be, contact the Killeen Police Department. Those are your headlines from Central Texas.